Welcome back to the Legacy Podcast. My name is Olisya Grant, co-founder of Matrix Legacy, Inc. We are back for episode number 40. This is the show where we create a blueprint for success. We look for ways to create generational wealth, and we break those chains of a poverty mindset. We've made it to 40, guys. This is pretty huge, because if you've been with me from the beginning, you know we've committed to at least 52 episodes. We want that consistency. We want to see what we're really made of, and giving yourselves at least a year to test the waters is definitely a great way to do that. So if you've been along with me up until this point, thank you so much. As usual, I appreciate every moment of your time. For those of you who are brand new, welcome. You joined at a great time. We are just getting warmed up. And over the past few weeks, I've been giving kind of like tips based on my own learnings, my own experiences, and it seems like y'all have been really enjoying that. So I'm gonna do the same thing again today. I've actually got 3 tips for you, and this week's topic, we are going to be talking about discernment. Now, I did not know what that meant until I had to know what that meant, and I heard it when we were talking in context of religion and spiritual values and things like that. However, what I didn't understand was the actual power in the ability to discern and discernment in itself. And so what I want to start off with, for those of you who have no idea what the heck I'm talking about when I say that, I want to give you a definition. So I'm going to read it right off so that we get it right. So the definition of discernment is the ability to judge well, or the ability to obtain sharp perceptions. So to me, what that means is judging, being able to judge without judging. It means being able to lean on our faith for guidance and for clarity when it comes to deciphering people, situations, and ideas that are brought to us. And the reason that's important, especially for those of you who might just be starting out in business, who might just be starting out on your own personal development journey, or you're looking to get to that next level, it's very important that we can understand what things are sent to us as a distraction and what things are actually sent to us as a resource that we are supposed to use to continue on our journey. And this is especially important when it comes to the people in your life. It's crucial that we can discern and judge without judging the person and understand exactly where it is that they're coming from. So I'm sure we've all been there where somebody in our family or our friends or whatever, they've taken up a project or they're taking on something, and because we don't relate to it, all of a sudden their energy towards us changes, or at least that's how we feel. And the thing is, if we have the power of discernment, we will know if that person is coming to us with good intentions, like if their heart's really in the right place, or if they're really just coming to us because they feel like they can use us just to get ahead on their own goals. So for me, when I was approaching my friends and family with the new vision, with the business concepts and the projects that I was taking on, there were a few people who misinterpreted my offers and my invitations as me saying, you have to do what I'm doing. When really it was just like, what I'm doing has made such a drastic change in my life, and I'm just in such a positive place right now. And I just want nothing more than to be able to bring you with me. But because those people were not, I'm not going to say that they couldn't judge well or whatever, but because there was a misinterpretation of where I was coming from, some of my relationships were strained. And I had to really grow from that place of understanding how my messages are received. So even if my intention is great, and this is something to marinate on as well, just when you're having interactions, even if your intention is good, you have to realize how your message is being received. And we have to use discernment as well when people are coming to us with ideas and projects and things that they're working on that they want us to be a part of. We have to be able to judge the opportunity or judge the concept without judging the person, and know if it's coming from a good space or not. That even relates to like dating, for example. In the beginning, when they're trying to get your attention, everything about you is amazing and beautiful and great. And then all of a sudden you say you're not interested. And then right away that person turns on you, and now you're all kinds of bad. You're a bad this and an ugly that and whatever else, right? And so if we have the power of discernment, we will be able to catch that and see those characteristics and see the intention and where that person is coming from before they even have the chance to turn on us and show us their true colors, because we would have seen it a long time ago. However, the only way we can see those things, the only way we can identify those aspects and those attributes in other people is to develop and evolve ourselves to the place where we're able to see it. And so that's going to tie into the 3 points that I'm going to give to you guys at the end in terms of how to develop discernment, because it really comes from practice. We're really able to understand people's true intentions from practicing being able to understand those things. So I'm going to give those in the 3 points at the end. So stick around for that. I want to just make one more point before we go there. And that's the fact that, especially now that so many things are on social media, we're purchasing things on social media, we're sharing our stories, our personal lives, we're connecting with people, we're finding people to date on social media. It's very important to realize that people could actually say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want in their personal lives, but when they hop on social media, you can actually create whatever characteristic that you want. And what happens is we get so caught up in this narrative, in this picture that we're painting for other people, that you will notice some people have told a lie for so long that it becomes their truth. Now, that can work to somebody's benefit. If they're telling them, let's say they were growing up in poverty in the worst neighborhood that you could possibly imagine, and they keep telling themselves, I'm a millionaire, I'm wealthy, abundance is flowing to me, whatever they continue to tell themselves, that quote unquote lie, that could lead them in the right direction to start looking for the opportunities that will actually get them there. But other people who are not actually willing to put in the work, are not actually willing to live up to the things that they're saying, they will tell a lie so many times that it actually becomes their truth, or they believe it to be their truth. And so we have to be the ones to determine if the information that's being sent to us, the people who are being sent to us, the opportunities and things like that, are these things sent as distractions for us, or are they sent as blessings for us? Or is the distraction disguised as a blessing to keep us from what we're actually looking to get to? And this goes into relationships, into business, into every aspect of life. We have to trust ourselves, and we have to have enough faith to know that if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Even if it looks great, even if it sounds like something we should be into, this is where discernment comes in again. And this is where understanding the difference between being nervous or feeling challenged by something or being afraid to step out of our comfort zone is very different than something feeling uncomfortable. And that feeling of, something doesn't feel right, this is uncomfortable, that is our ability to discern, our power of discernment, which is rooted in our faith, telling us if you just trust enough in yourself that whether you decide to go forward on this path or not, if you trust yourself enough to know, okay, worst case scenario, I know I'm going to be able to learn something from this. Or best case scenario, I've trusted myself to bring myself in the right direction. If you're able to get to that point of trust in yourself and in your own faith, well, then there's no such thing as a wrong decision. But now you have a filter and you have a defense mechanism that can tell you right away if something's a red flag or if something is a green light. And so that's why I want to leave you with 3 points today, and I'm going to give them to you fairly quickly. This is what I'm learning and I'm developing into myself in terms of learning how to practice and develop the skill of discernment. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to learn to listen. A lot of us listen to respond instead of listening to obtain information and actually learn something and really take in the information before we give our response. It's not about having the best response. It's being able to actually respond to what is being said to you because you've actually taken in the information properly. So, and that's something that you have to exercise, because I used to catch myself all the time. I would literally drift off halfway through the person's sentence because I'm thinking about what can I say back so that this person thinks that I'm valuable, or what can I say back so that there's no awkward silence or anything like that. But who cares if there's an awkward silence? If you are taking a moment to collect your thoughts because you've received what the message is that that person is sending to you, this is how you develop your skill of discernment, because that person will tell you out of their mouth exactly who they are and exactly what their intentions are. But if you weren't listening and you were just hearing enough to be able to respond, then you're going to miss it. And this is how we end up in bad relationships or bad deals, taking on terrible opportunities, because we didn't actually listen. We just heard and we were waiting for our chance to respond. So being able to practice and catch yourself when you're just hearing versus listening, that is definitely a way that you're going to be able to practice and build up that skill of discernment. Now, that is a episode on itself. How do we listen? That's a whole nother topic. But it's definitely a place to start if you're looking to build up that power and that ability to discern. The second thing that you're going to want to do is keep inventory. So if you're an investor, for example, I know I do have a lot of investors who listen to this, and you keep track of your trades and you see where you made errors and you see where you got the fear of missing out and you see where you got in or got out too early or whatever the case may be. If you're able to track and look back so that you don't make the same mistake over and over, that's the same thing that you're going to want to do with your relationships and with opportunities as they present themselves in your lives. Keep inventory of what was brought to you, who arrived in your life, what your response was, and what the outcome was. That way, once you see it, because you will see the same things over and over and over again in different people, in different scenarios, but at the end of the day, at its core, it's just the same situation showing up in a different costume or in a different design, in a different phase in your life. And so if you really keep inventory of your own responses and your own outcomes of certain situations, then you now have your own little track record that you can look back on and make sure that you don't keep making the same mistakes. Because the same lessons will be sent to us over and over and over again until we learn them. And so we could just get ahead of that by keeping track of it, whether it be writing it down, keeping a little voice print for yourself, just keeping tabs, keeping inventory so you have something to look back on and refer to so that we don't keep making the same mistakes over and over. Definitely tracking your prior responses is how you're going to be able to practice that skill of discerning. And then the third one is really, it says it in the Bible. You will hear all of the most successful people in the world talking about knowing thyself. If you know yourself and you know your calling, you know your purpose, you know what you are here for, then there is nothing that can be brought to you that will throw you off track. There is nothing that can be brought to you that will take you out of the game, because you are so secure in your faith, in your purpose, in your calling, that you will be able to identify and analyze everything that comes into your path and know if it's for you or know if it's a distraction, know if it's going to help you or know if it's going to damage you. But that comes from you understanding and knowing yourself. And the only way you can get to know yourself truly is through personal development and surrounding yourself by people who know who they are, because they can teach you exactly how they figured that out. So reading books, listening to audios, going to conventions, upgrading your circle, being incredibly mindful of the things that you're feeding your mind and making sure that you're fueling your body as well with the right things. That's how you're going to get to know yourself. And that's how you're going to make sure that you are never thrown off track as things present themselves to you. You might stumble a little bit, but you will never fall and be taken out, because you know who you are and you know what you're here for. So no outside factor is going to be able to take you off track from that. So again, those 3 points. First one is learn to listen. Second one is keep inventory. And the third one is to know thyself. So that is all I've got for you guys today. I truly hope this did help somebody. This was just a download. This is one of those episodes that I had something else planned, but something else jumped into its place. So this one's really just coming from the heart and really coming from where I am on this journey, being able to decipher what was sent from me and what was sent to distract me, if that makes sense. And this really ties into everything that we spoke about last week in regards to, busy work and running around with like chickens with our heads cut off, just doing all of this stuff, thinking that we're being productive, thinking that this is an opportunity that was sent for us, or thinking we need to do all of these things. And we lose complete sight and complete track of what our actual purpose and what our personal mission is for what we're doing here. And so going into 2021, the power of discernment is definitely a skill and an ability that you're going to want to build up. You've already got it in you. You just have to sharpen that blade. So if this did help you, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, send this to a friend. We are here every single weekend with a brand new episode. If you wanted to keep up with all of our Matrix Legacy content and never miss a single podcast, you can download the Matrix Legacy app. We also do daily quotes and things like that on there, as well as just provide all the financial literacy basics that you need to build wealth into every area of your life. So you definitely want to check that out. So again, I will be here next week with another building block for success. Until next time, let's build a legacy.